I'm hoping Mike is still joining us. Can anyone email Mike for me or text Mike? Do you know, does anyone have his number? I can do it quickly if you don't, just to see if he remembered. And Crystal, if you can send me your phone number again, for some reason, I just don't have it in my phone. Thank you.
Yep.
I'll just send Mike a message. Okay, we'll call it to order. Secretary's report. Did everyone have a chance to see the wonderful secretary's report?
Yes.
Okay, there are just a few corrections that we have here, so it's good to go. Do I have a motion to accept the secretary's report?
I'll make.
Oh, Ellen will make the motion, second by Cindy.
Motion to accept the secretary's report.
Great, thank you. All in favor signify by just saying aye.
Aye.
Great.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. The treasurer's report, I'm not sure if all of you heard, Carly is in the car driving home from St. Louis. So she is not going to be with us. So the reception, she was going to try to get on, but the reception is not good. They're out near Buffalo now. So she said nothing has changed for the treasurer's report though. So it's the same as it was last month.
Mhm.
So we will dispense with that. Public participation. I see that Kathy is on again. Did you want to join us?
Hi, I'm just listening.
Oh, okay. All right, good. Did you get a chance to get a hold of anyone at Park and Rec?
Nope, I've been really busy, so I just haven't done anything with that just yet. So
Okay,
I'm
that's fine.
going to be working on it still.
Okay, I think there's some interest out there. You know, once you posted it, several people have shown some interest, and it was interesting. I did not realize that the reason why the temperance movement put those fountains in is that they were trying to encourage water drinking rather than alcohol. So that was the whole point of that, the water fountains, drinking
And
fountains.
it was a huge movement throughout. There's lots of them. If you go to almost any park, lots of monuments like that. And it's really kind of funny because there were guys who were involved with it too. I didn't think it was just women.
Yeah, yeah,
You know?
well, that's great. That I'm glad that Westfield was too. So,
And I really think we should have more historical looking things because along that whole place, it looks very historic.
mhm.
And I'm really into keeping it that way with the old whip and, you know, and I think other people want to go a different way. So,
Well, we don't. So we're with you.
yeah, I'm holding my breath that that mural is going to be something that will fit the area, which
Mhm.
I don't think it's going to, but
Which mural is this? Where's
the
this
one by
gonna-
the bridge.
Oh, I haven't seen. Have they started that yet?
Yeah, if you go on Jan and Sheba's Facebook page, you'll
Okay.
see what she wants to do there. And I'm just going to leave it at that.
Okay. What is her name? Jan Chiba?
Shannon Chiba, Chiba.
Okay. Okay. I will look. Is it similar to the other ones they've done?
No.
No. Okay. I'll take a look. Great. Thank you. And
Thank you.
Bruce, welcome. I see you here. Do you want to participate now or do you want to wait until new business? It's entirely up to you. Oops, we can't hear you. Still can't hear you. It doesn't look like you're muted, but we don't hear you.
Maybe his sound isn't up.
Yeah, can you turn your volume up? Is that it?
Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you, Kathy. Bruce, we'll move on, and when you can get your sound fixed, we'll come back to you, okay? You can hear me. Okay, great. Unfinished business. Plaque for the old burying ground follow-up. We did get a quote back from the company out of Indian Orchard for the entire sign plus the installation. It would be about $3,100. So I am waiting for a few more quotes for that, but we are moving forward. I did bring it to the Park and Rec meeting because they oversee the old burying ground, and they would like to see a picture of it before they vote on it, which I totally understand. So when we can get a mock-up, I will bring that back to their meeting so they can see it. Any questions on that? Or any suggestions? No? Okay, great. We'll move on. The Immigrant Report, Carly has finished the immigrant, her portion of it. We are waiting to meet with Fred to get into the churches to take pictures, and then we'll put that tour together. Kind of exciting to have that one done. The Canal CPA application. I attended a meeting for the Community Preservation Committee and presented the idea to them about trying to do an archaeological inventory on the canal that we talked about last time, and to get it onto the National Register of Historic Sites. They were interested, but they needed to know a lot more information about it. So a woman from the Pioneer Valley Planning Commission sent the information that they requested, and the chair of the CPC indicated that he would be in favor of supporting this. So that's good news. We're stepping in the right direction. I am going to be meeting with Shannon sometime soon to try to walk and find portions of the canal. And if anyone is interested in doing that with me, we'd be happy to plan it on a weekend if that's something that's of interest to you. Yes, I'm seeing heads nodding. Okay, good. There's certain places that you can see it. It's really great. If you go out on Lockhouse Road, do you know where that is? You take that left off of the hill up to the Mass Pike, follow that through, and then take a right. And right there, you can see the canal sign. And if you look on the right, you'll see a great patch of the canal that is very visible there. You can see parts of it behind the Westfield shops. But I really would like to get out there and walk more of it and see more of it and see where the extension from Russell comes, which is pretty much all gone now. So we're going to see if we can find more of that. So we'll try to schedule it on a weekend if people would like to join us. Oh, good. Questions about that? No, well, we're moving right along. Great. The sign project update, we're really not at I haven't done a thing on it, and we're still waiting for prices from the sign shop on those. But I think we'll be ready to put that on our website probably for the fall, so people can start ordering signs on their own. One Room Schoolhouse update. I did have a call from someone who is interested in trying to help us keep it out where it is in Montgomery, which would mean we would need to acquire some land. We don't know if that's a possibility at all, and that's probably the only way we could keep it where it is. So he is researching that for us. And I'm still continuing to talk to people downtown about getting it moved to next to the whip company, if we can't keep it where it is. What's the feeling after meeting with Dennis? What's the feeling of the commission?
I think, this is Debbie speaking. I would still like to bring it downtown. And I know that, I think I've really thought through the pros and cons, but I just think more people go downtown. I do have one quick question, Cindy. When you mentioned this person talking about acquiring land, do you mean acquiring land adjacent to it, so it would be a bigger parcel, or moving it off that land and onto a different parcel?
No, well, I can't really say a whole lot because because it's in the works, but no, we would not be moving it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
thanks.
It can't be used the way it is right now.
Right.
So I don't even know if that's an option, but this is a gentleman who would be very interested in keeping it where it is, because I understand you lose the rural look of a rural schoolhouse by moving it downtown.
Sure.
But I agree with you, Debbie, that it's much more visible downtown. It would, make that downtown Riverwalk such a destination, historic destination, with the whip company there and Pilgrim Candle and other places, the railroad. station, that I would love to see it come there, and yeah, where people can see it. How about everybody else? I really would like to hear from everybody.
I think my only I don't have a hang up about it. I love the idea of it being used, but I just don't know, I guess, how we're planning on using it. Who's going to steward it once it's moved? How is that going to be utilized and accessed by the public?
Yeah, very good question. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a good understanding of what the end goal is, I guess.
Yeah. Which is what Dennis said we needed to have. And I think we're thinking school groups majorly, but you know, anybody, and I would hope that, as in the Dewey House, there'd be enough interest in town to get docent volunteers. You know, it wouldn't be open all the time. It would just be certain hours. But I think, just from what people have said to me, I think there's a large enough group of interested people that we could get docents to have it open at least on Saturdays, or, you know, just during good weather, or whatever. But yes, you're right. We have to have, what is our goal? And I think our goal was to have school groups come to both Whip Company and the schoolhouse. But honestly, I'd like to see it open for everybody. Okay, Cindy, what are you thinking?
I like the idea of having it downtown with everything else too, kind of like our own little Stroton Village, and putting it over by the Whip. I mean, I think it fits right in there. If we were to have it, would it be like in conjunction with like the Dewey House? Would it be certain grades just going to the schoolhouse? Like, was it the 4th and 5th graders are going to the Dewey House? Or would it be kind of, you know, I agree with that, kind of try to figure out what our use is. However, on the same hand, though, I kind of contradict myself, because I'm also all about original and being in the original spot. And but up there, though, it's kind of out of the way, and not too many people are going to travel up there. And right now it's just kind of sitting there, kind of, you know, in limbo. I did drive up there. I actually have friends who live down that street, and I actually went hiking up to the old dam last weekend, and I kind of peeked in the windows, and right now it looks like it's a bookstore. I don't know if anyone knew this, but it's filled with like shelves of books right now. I don't know.
Where are the books?
There's like shelves and shelves, just shelves of books, like kids books, and there's like a VHS of Star Wars in the window.
The old schoolhouse?
Yeah, we're talking about up in Montgomery, right?
Well, not way up in Montgomery. It's near the little church.
Yeah. Oh,
that's all new. We were just in about a month ago, and none of that was there. Wow.
I'm gonna drive by again and take a look. But anyway, I like the idea of having it down here because I think it fits in with everything else that's down here.
Okay. I have the key, so if you ever want to go in, I'd be happy to show you.
Oh, yeah, I do want it. I would love to take pictures.
There were some shelves, but I don't think you can see them from the windows, and they had a lot of dishes on them. I don't remember any books at all.
Cindy?
Yeah.
I think you're actually, Cindy Bronson may be confusing the schoolhouse on the corner of Pitcher Street in Montgomery.
Yes, that's
sorry.
Okay. Sorry.
You're too far up the hill.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
I wanted to mention it when I was up there. I wanted to mention it, but yes, you're right. Sorry.
Okay.
Anyway, but yeah, no, I like the idea of having it down here with everything else. I think it fits. And it would be more visible.
Okay, good. Who have we not heard from? Ellen.
Oh, boy. I like where it is. And I agree with the history of keeping it rural where it is, the setting, if we could promote it where it is. But I get where you're thinking of moving it, but yet I just like keeping things in their place.
If we could have school groups go, but we've been
Right.
told by the city we can't right now where it is.
Right, but if that
yeah.
property, or however someone is looking into something, I would love to see it stay rural.
And honestly, that would be so much easier.
I know, well, that's what I'm thinking about that. And once it's moved, will it ever be the same? I don't know.
Yep.
There's a lot. And I know out in the Wyven community, the feeling is they would love to have it
Mhm.
They used it for a social picnics and it was a big.
It
so I
was,
don't
yeah.
know. We promote it. It all depends.
Yeah, and it can't be used as a community center anymore just because of the condition it's in.
Right.
So something has to be done to it. Debbie, were you going to look into the schoolhouse?
Association?
Yes, right.
I have, and I have to say, I haven't done anything the last probably 2 months. No,
Okay.
I need to get going.
Yeah, if you could do that for us for our next meeting, and
Okay.
I think, there might be funding there. Actually, Dick Patterson emailed me about that this week, asking if we had looked into it. So, we'll uncover every stone if we can. Look under every stone, whatever that expression is. I guess we don't uncover stones, but anyway.
Turn over.
Turn
I
over,
think.
there we
Yeah.
go. Thank you. Turn over every stone. And try to find the best. I mean, honestly, the thought of moving it is overwhelming,
Oh, boy.
but
Yeah.
I don't want to lose it either. So, and where it is now, it's just not a doable location. Okay, any other discussion on this? No, okay. Any other unfinished business that we should attend to? All right, well, you guys are good. Let's move right along. Vote on the historical monuments to be repaired. I brought this up at our last meeting, but I neglected to have us vote on it, which was my bad. But Gene Thoreau, who, if you don't know him, you should, because he's just an amazing person, works very hard at restoring the gravestones of veterans in our city, and there are many, many, many. And he brought forward a request for CPC funding to repair quite a few of the monuments and stones that are in a state of disrepair now, including our General Shepherd and the Civil War monument downtown. And before they can grant him the money, we have to vote that we find these monuments to be historic. So I need a motion and second it, and then we can discuss it, and then we need to vote on it in order for the CPA to give him the money to go ahead and get this done. So would anyone like to make a motion to find these historic monuments, these monuments historic?
Cindy, a quick question.
Sure.
Aren't they listed on some kind of state inventory?
Well, not all of them, but
No,
a lot of
okay.
them are. Yeah, well,
All
like
right.
for instance, yes, but we have to just say that all the monuments that he would like to have repaired, which are, there's one out, it's wherever the historic little parks are. There's one out on Southampton Road on the right-hand side as you're traveling west.
Yep.
And east, toward East Hampton. And that monument is needs a lot of repair. It's the 2 statues downtown, and it's several of the monuments in Pine Hill Cemetery. There's a very tall monument to Civil War veterans there, and then there's another one that he would like to have repaired. And we just need to say that we agree that this is of historic value and that it needs to be done, and just to keep them safe for the community as well.
Thank you.
Certainly. So would anyone like to make a motion? Ellen?
I'll make a motion for the CPA funding to repair the historical monuments.
Well, the motion just has to be that we find them to be of historic value.
Oh, okay, that we find them to be of historic value.
Okay, is there a second on that?
I'll second that.
Great, thank you, Debbie. Okay, now we can discuss it more. But he has taken the course and he's learned how to repair these stones. So he's saving the city a lot of money. But on the other hand, some of them, like the large stones, he can't do on his own. So there he's got to have a professional come in. The General Shepherd statue, I think there's about $30,000 worth of repair work that needs to be done on that. And another $15,000, I think, for the Civil War statue. And those are the 2 big ones. And then the other ones of smaller. But he has worked on, I would say, hundreds of stones by now, all through Southwick, Westfield, up into the Quabbin area. Where else, Bruce, has he worked? He's been everywhere working on. Can we hear you yet? Oh, we can. We did hear you.
Hang on, I had to unmute. Yeah, I'm most familiar with all the work he's done with between Pine Hill, Southwick, and Belchertown.
Yeah.
Between just with those three, I don't know where he gets the time.
It seems like that's all he does now. If you get a paper at all, he's in almost every week or on Facebook, but he's an amazing person and very, very dedicated. So since we have discussion, call for a vote. All in favor of finding these stones of historic value so that they can get the money from the CPA, signify by raising your right hand.
My hand is up.
Oh, good. Thank you, Debbie. Opposed? Oppose? Excellent. We have an emergency meeting of the CPA tomorrow night, so I can tell them this. So that's great. Virtual historic tours. We have finished the City Hall text and we have the photos all in place. We just have to put it together and that one will be ready to launch. We've had quite a few calls of people interested in these tours and asking us to continue doing them. So has anyone had a chance to take a look at any of them yet? Or any suggestions for future ones? Yeah, if you do, I know you're all very busy, but try to take a look at any of them. Mike went with us into the City Hall to take pictures there. And again, Fred has done an amazing job on it. So that will be the next tour that we're launching. Bruce, you're up. The project at the old burying ground.
Yeah, I think Cindy forwarded on the current PDF document as far as the inventory list, much as it is. Depending upon how you look at it, it's probably 70 to 80% done. It depends upon what you consider done, I guess. It'll never be fully baked. It's always going to have changes. Where I'm at right now, I talked to Cindy a little bit about this. There's a couple next steps that we need to do. And one is, well, Cindy and I are going to be going down to the OBG later this week to identify a few of the key stones. I think you're looking for the oldest one still, Cindy, where it is.
Well, not the oldest, but I'm looking for that Abigail Sackett.
Right.
Yeah, we know where the oldest one is, but
Right,
not
okay.
Abigail.
So anyways, combination of a couple things based on the old map, which is terribly difficult to read and hard to navigate. I want to identify a few key stones so I can really start mapping out what stones are where in relation to others. I came to the realization just today, I recently finally upgraded my phone to a smartphone, so I actually have an intelligent phone. I wasn't aware, but if anybody else is aware, when you take a picture on your smartphone, if you know how to get into it, buried in the file information, all the GPS coordinates are in there.
Really?
Yes. You need to have the right kind of an application to look at the file details. But when I bring up a photo in Photoshop and look at the file details, I can actually get the exact GPS locations, which has always been a challenge because you go into a cemetery and you take 100 pictures and you say, gee, where was that stone in relation to the other stone?
Mm-hmm.
What I want to do Thursday, Cindy, is I'm going to go to the four corners of the cemetery and snap a picture so I can get
Excellent.
GPS coordinates of the four corners of the cemetery. And that way they will be able to start mapping out where stones are in relation to other stones easier. And I want to go after probably the Taylor stone, some of the Fowler stones, some of the more prominent ones, and so we can get exact GPS locations for them.
If we could get those on that sign we're making, that'd be amazing.
Yeah. So that's a big deal now that you don't get this with a conventional camera, but you will get it off of a picture taken.
So just something like that. That's a picture I took last week.
Yeah. And now if you were to save that to a JPEG or whatever, and I were to look at it with Photoshop, I can get the GPS data off it.
Ooh, you got to show me how to do that.
Which is kind of
Great.
nice. So, and that's going to go a long way to really starting to establish some of the relationships. So that's at OBG, and Cindy and I had talked about probably a couple months down the road when the weather's better, of actually doing some methodical probing of the ground to try and find where we might be missing some stones in a very methodical fashion. The other thing.
Can I stop you there for a minute, Bruce? Because I think the commission would be interested in this. You're thinking about making plots and following like a grid and
Yeah.
having us all with, where do you find those tools? I was looking at our ski poles, and if I took the cage off, but they're really too thick, I think, aren't they? You
Yeah.
need something like a metal rod with a handle so you can,
Well, what I've got is the probe that I personally have is one I got from my father. It's really, as silly as it all sounds, all you need is about a 10-inch spike on the end of a stick.
oh,
So
okay.
like the probe that I've got is actually, it's a good solid rake handle, but really all it is a metal rod about 12, 13 inches long. It's like a big old spike. It's
Okay.
just something that, is pointed that you can push into the ground.
Anybody have
Whatever.
anything like that?
I'll show it to you Thursday, Cindy.
Oh, good. Well, I'd like to make some, and so we could get everybody down there and really make a grid and cover every inch of the cemetery.
Yeah, I'll look into whether or not they're even available commercially.
Okay.
A probing spike. I'm
A
sure
ski-
they are.
Would a ski pole not, the spike wouldn't be long enough then, right?
No, well, in a ski pole, it's not a real blunt object. I mean, you need something you can really push into the ground.
Yeah.
Like it's like a handle off of a hoe or ice chopper.
Okay.
It's a
Yeah.
good hefty handle, the one that I have.
Okay.
But I'll look into it. I mean, it's obviously a professionally made thing because it's something my father picked up someplace. I don't know where he got it from, but he's had it for years. And
Okay.
I would imagine Bob Brown's probably got one too. But
Yeah.
so that's something that, we're probably a little, when the weather gets better,
Sure.
we'll do that more. The other thing that we can get at quicker is getting, we discussed getting a little team together, go down to the Athenaeum to go after two specific targets to enhance the list a bit. And the first is that group of pictures from the early 1900s, of which you have a few, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a whole lot more down there in the Athenaeum. And Bob Brown knows exactly where they are. Like everything, Bob's the only one who knows exactly where it is. And he's willing to come down and walk us through where it is. The second thing is the Holland Journal. For those of you who aren't aware, the Holland family, there were something like 8 different Dr. Hollands. And one of the Dr. Hollands in the late 1800s mapped out the entire cemetery of what he knew, and he wrote down the inscriptions. So having been done in the late 1800s, he's going to have described stones that no longer exist, obviously.
Right.
So that's the two target things to go after in the Athenaeum. And we can take my notebook. I'll have my list all printed because I have my little notebook on the list printed, and I'll have a current copy with me, and it's all divided up alphabetically in little tables A through Z, and we can just take and use that as a workbook.
Great.
So the big gap right now in the entire list of what I've sent out to all of you is you'll notice that under the block the block locations, very few stones are identified. So that's the key to doing the whole next thing is how many of these we can get identified by what block number they're in, what plot number they're in.
Particularly that A block, that oldest block, which I'm sure we're missing so many there because there's just nothing back there.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, great. So what Bruce was referring to as far as the pictures is there is a binder of pictures that go back to that, I think the early 1900s, right?
Yep.
Of stones from the old burying ground that, as Bruce said, aren't there anymore. And so that will help. If you've not had a chance to look at that file that I sent you, it is enormous. How many pages long is it, Bruce?
It's about 130 pages. It's roughly 1,400 names.
Can you imagine all that work and that time? That's just incredible that you've done this. And he's not only researched it, but he's found like maybe women that died in childbirth, and maybe their children are with them, but they're not listed there. And it's just an incredible, comprehensive look at who is buried there.
The biggest key is you can be able to get the birth, marriages, and parents. Because when you get the birth, marriages, and parentage, you start to see all the cross linkages of families.
Right.
And,
yeah, and and the multiple wives that men had as wives died in childbirth and things like of that nature. Yeah, that's super. So thank you. Can I just ask a quick question? How many ink cartridges did it take to print that whole thing out? Because I would like to print it.
It's really not bad. See, not that I'm going to give an advertisement or anything, but I will never buy an HP printer ever again.
Oh, okay.
HP printers eat ink
Yeah.
terribly.
That's what mine is.
I've got an Epson, what they call an Epson Eco Tank.
Okay.
Okay, and I have shied away from refillable cartridges for fear of the ink mess of days of yore, 20 years ago. If you had a refillable cartridge, you ended up with ink on your fingers, and it was just, they were a nightmare. And these were the early Epsons. The Eco Tanks have a spill-proof, easy to use, easy to refill technology. The ink is probably goes, I've got to say, it goes twice as long as an HP cartridge, and it costs half as much.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
They just don't, it doesn't eat ink the way an HP does. And again, I'm going to go back to my first HP printer was probably mid 70s. And I've used HP printers forever. And I kind of shied away from the Epson refillable cartridges because of, I know the horror stories of them. The HP has a few advantages in terms of some photo printing and stuff, but I don't do photos anymore at home. I send it off to a print shop where they do better. I will probably never buy another HP printer again.
Okay. So it is doable. I can print it out 130 pages
Yeah.
on my cartridge. Okay. Because I would love
Yeah,
to
but-
have
yeah,
it.
but understand, it's legal paper too.
I'm sorry?
It's legal size sheets.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I don't have that.
That's the problem. That's the whole
Oh,
challenge.
okay.
The whole
Okay.
challenge of printing it off, and you really don't want to print it off. You want to use it electronically because the PDF is fully searchable.
Oh, okay. So just leave it.
You want to search on Smith, Johnson, whatever. It's fully searchable by keyword. So you really want to
Okay.
use it on the computer, and we really only want to use the hard copy if we, at some point, we will give a copy of this to the Athenaeum, I'm sure.
Okay.
It'll be up to you.
Oh, definitely. I'll let you print it with your Eco Tank then.
Well, I'll let them print it.
Oh, okay.
But to have the hard copy in the archives where somebody can pull it out, where they don't have to use a computer, would be okay. I keep a copy of it because it's easy to make notes in. Okay, but for somebody like yourself who's not actually doing updates to the file and everything, I would just use it on the computer.
Okay. Well, I'm just thinking when people do come and want a tour to find someone in the cemetery, I could get it on my phone probably.
Yeah, well, you have it on your phone. You can put it on a tablet. When they come to the cemetery, I will volunteer to make you a copy of it with a binder for $30.
Okay.
The reason being, the 8.5 by 14 binders are $15 a piece.
Okay.
Okay, and then legal paper is more expensive by the ream. It's probably $6 to $7 for a ream of paper. And, 200, so I mean, I joke when I say $30, but for the cost of whatever it costs to print it, I don't mind doing the printing.
Okay. Is that enough to cover it? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Could I have a motion to spend $30 to make a copy of this?
I make a motion for us, the Westfield Historical Commission, to purchase a copy from Mr. Cordes.
Is there a second on that?
I'll second it.
Excellent. Outstanding. All
Yeah.
right. Oh, I'm sorry. All in favor? Signify
Aye.
by raising your hand or saying aye. Great.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Outstanding. Oh, Bruce, that'd be awesome. Great.
Well, let's just use the copy that I've given you for now.
Okay.
Let's say Target giving you a more complete one in 60 to 90 days.
Okay. Ellen, did you have a question on this? Sorry. Are you
No, I'm-
frozen?
Crystal,
I'm sorry?
I think I see Crystal's hand raised. I'm not raising my hand.
Oh, I think you were frozen when we were voting then.
Oh, yeah, some were frozen on mine too.
Okay. All right. Good. Outstanding. So we will just let us know and we will purchase the copy.
And Cindy, you'll break the ice of the Athenaeum bottles coming in, doing a little research session.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think that will be an issue. I think as long as there's not 10 of us in there, I think that they'll be okay with that.
Yeah.
Great.
I just think it's better coming from you than me.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I don't agree with that. I think, but I'll be happy to do it.
I won't explain why.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Any question? Oh, Cindy.
I just wanted to say thank you, Bruce, for doing all that. I was looking at it just before the meeting, and I can't imagine. I mean, that's a lot of information and that's a lot of work. So thank you for all that you do for us.
It's a lot of hours. In fact, I have to put it aside for a few days because I have some personal stuff that I haven't been doing that I need to do. But like my
I bet it's habit forming once you get into it, but you do have to put it aside every once in a while.
You can eat up 5, 6, 7 hours in a heartbeat.
I bet. Yeah. Well, thank you again. Yeah. Okay. Anything else for Bruce? Oh, Crystal.
Yeah, just one thing. I know that it was just kind of mentioned in passing during the last meeting about ground penetrating radar and their
right.
grant to move forward with that, I guess. Do you know anything more about that? Should we be, should we be investigating that further, or?
Yeah. Now, Bruce, were you telling me about the McKees? You were the one, right?
Yeah. I'll speak to that a little bit. I recently got an email from the Association for Gravestone Studies. Their quarterly meeting is May 14th, and they're having a Zoom meeting on that Friday night where Al and what's his wife's name?
Betsy
McKee from Long Meadow. They've done a tremendous work in the Long Meadow cemeteries. They engaged the ground penetrating radar people a couple years ago or last year. They're going to give a status on how good their results were and everything. And I think that'll give some very worthwhile information as to the viability of what it costs, what the results were and everything. And we can kind of feed off of their experiences.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be great. Great. Anything else for Bruce? Okay. Well, thank you, Bruce, so much. I appreciate it.
Okay. I'm going to drop off then.
Okay. Yeah. It sounds like you need to take a break.
Okay.
Thanks again, Bruce.
Take care.
Thank you.
Okay. I'll see you
Bye-bye.
Thursday.
Okay.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And talking about the old burying ground, we generally have a stone cleaning day. I've had interest from the community in wanting to help as well. And I'm just wondering if there's a day that's good for everyone. Generally we do it in June, when it is a lot warmer. And does anyone have any thoughts about times, days, Saturday, Sunday, morning, afternoon?
Sunday would be would be good for me, afternoon.
I think that's when we generally do it, is Sunday afternoon. Okay. So obviously not Mother's Day. When is Mother's Day, by the way? Oh, no, that's May. Never mind. We're talking June. So not Father's Day.
That's the 20th.
My calendar doesn't have Mother's Day and Father's Day.
Father's Day is the 20th.
20th. Okay. So Sunday, the 6th, the 13th, or the 27th. Does anyone have a preference? And is Sunday afternoon okay for everybody else?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Ellen and Crystal, is that good for both of you?
Yeah.
Depends which one.
I'm sorry, what, Ellen?
No, it depends which Sunday it is.
Okay. Which Sunday can you not make it in June?
June 27th, I won't be able to make.
Okay. That's pretty late anyway. So yeah, we won't do then.
I agree with you. The 27th would be harder for me as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to wait that long anyway. How is June 6th?
Sure.
Is that okay? We'll put it down. If it works for everybody, then we'll plan it for that day. And 1 o'clock,
Okay.
is that good? 1? Okay. And I will contact the people from the community who have called wanting to be involved. And Kathy, if that's anything that's of interest to you, you're certainly welcome to join us. We provide all of the materials, and we train you on how to clean the stones without harming them. And generally, we get about 40 stones cleaned in one day, cleaned and or straightened. So we'll put June 6th. All right. Any other business? Anyone that anything have anything of interest to talk about or ideas? Don't all speak at once.
What
Okay.
what cemetery do you do?
The old burying ground on Mechanic Street.
Okay, I'd be interested in doing it. I've
Excellent.
worked with D2 also, and I think I went to the workshop that Jean went to
Yep.
in West
Great.
Springfield.
Excellent. Great. Yeah, the D2 is what we use. And we would love, the more hands, the better. So right now, just put down the 6th at 1 o'clock and we'll hopefully see you there.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Anything else? Everybody is well? Everybody vaccinated?
Not yet.
Cindy, not yet? Debbie, not yet? Really?
No, not yet. No,
Do you have an appointment?
no, I need to make one. I've just been letting
Yeah.
too many things go in my life. So yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. And Cindy, now everybody can get one now. I think it's
Yeah.
open. And so you haven't been able to get an appointment yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, well, I hope you can. Yeah, just where we want everybody safe.
Mm,
Good. Everyone else as well?
mhm.
That's a very unenthusiastic yes.
I actually had COVID back in December. I had it.
You did? How were you very ill?
No, not really. For me, it started off, I was extremely tired and I had a severe sinus congestion, which I always get this time of year. So that's what I thought it was.
Oh.
Until I went to put some Vicks on my sinuses and I couldn't smell it. I'm like, oh no.
Did you get
Oh,
your smell
that's-
back?
I
And
did
you-
after it was like about a week later, I finally got my smell back. I never lost my sense of taste.
Mhm.
But then after when I got that back, then I got a cough. And I was so it's basically just my sinuses. It wasn't too bad of a cough. It's just kind of a mild annoying cough.
Mhm.
It was a dry one and it was just the extreme fatigue. I mean, I would like wake up, I would have breakfast, I would shower, get dressed, and then I'd have to sleep for 6 hours. Then
Oh
I'd
my
wake
goodness.
up, wash my dishes, and then I'd have to sleep for another 6 hours.
Mhm.
And it went on for about a month. So I was out of work from December 4th through January 5th, I think is when I went back. So I
Oh
was
my
about-
gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm
So,
sorry. I
yeah.
did hear the Today Show the other day said that, what do they call long haulers? Those of you who still have lingering symptoms, that the vaccine actually takes care of those.
I
The-
just read that too, that a lot of
Mm-hmm.
long haulers are saying that their long haul symptoms
Went away.
went
Yeah.
away. Yeah.
Yeah, good. Anybody else have it? No, good. Stay away. Don't get it. All right. Well, I'm sorry. Oh, I violated by asking. All right. Is everybody well?
Right.
Good. Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Okay. And a second on that?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Second by Debbie. All in favor?
Aye.
Signify by saying aye. Good. All right. Our next meeting is May 17th at 6. Right now, Pete, is it still considered Zoom or do you think we'll be back in the building by then? Okay. I think it is booked, but because City Hall gave me this May 17th at 6 o'clock. So otherwise, oh, right. I'm sorry, by Zoom, how to include the. Oh, I see. I see. Okay. So maybe we still should just plan on a Zoom then. Because that would be meaning too many people to come in, that they won't allow the public to come in addition to the. Yeah, for us, it's usually not that many, but you never know. So, yeah, good. I never thought of that. Good point. Okay. Okay. Well, I think we're adjourned.